Happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Hey, little fishies, it's so good to see you again. It's your girl Megan, and we are well into the month of October, which some of you may know is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I recently attended this year's Idaho Cybersecurity Summit and am joined today by our very own VP of IT, Joshua Van Berkum. He's here to break down the latest cybersecurity challenges businesses are facing today and share his expert advice on staying ahead of potential threats. JVB, can you tell us about some critical challenges the industry is facing?
Thank you, Megan. The first thing that surprised me the most is just the degree of sophistication that we have of attacks. They're going to become more sophisticated. So the feeling is kind of a little bit of doom and gloom, right? Like, how are we supposed to team up and be successful against these criminal organizations? So that was kind of my number one thing, is just to realize that it's not casual hacking anymore. It's very organized, very strategic. If you just look at the dollars between what the hackers make in being able to infiltrate our networks and hold us ransom and steal and sell information versus the amount of money that we spend in trying to stop them, it is a huge gap between what they make and what we spend. So to me, that kind of tells the story.
That's right, Josh. With the complexity and scale of these cyber attacks on the rise, it is so crucial for you folks out there to stay alert. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, aka the IC3, saw a 10% increase in cybercrime reports from 2022 to 2023 and a 22% increase in the total monetary loss caused by these attacks. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, Josh. This is sounding a little scary. What can we do to protect ourselves and our businesses?
It's not hopeless, though. Fortunately, a lot of the attacks really are social engineering. That's where they're the most successful, right? So as an IT company, we can only do so well of a job of patching exploits, but most of your infiltrations really come through social engineering. And so I think the real advantage there is just education. It's just taking your users, making them realize what they have to look for, be extra careful, particularly when it comes to email hacks and things of that nature. So it really, for me, it all boils down to end user education. You can implement wonderful new technology into a small business, but if you don't educate people on how to use it, you don't have that efficiency. And we're actually seeing that's the biggest way of protecting yourself, is just educating your end users like we've always needed to do.
Well, if security awareness education is what's needed, then it's a good thing you little fishies came to school today, right? In just 2023 alone, there were over 800,000 reports made to the IC3 with phishing and business email compromise attacks, accounting for over 300,000 of those reported crimes. Josh, with the increase we're seeing, businesses need to be more conscious than ever of the security solutions they have in place. And a lot of that comes down to what they're willing to pay for. Where should the focus be?
The bad guys are after our clients' data. And so the data that's the easiest to get are the clients who are the least willing to spend money on protecting their data. So part of that on us is to educate the client as to why it's so important. It's not like it was in the past where maybe you lose a week's worth of data because your backup wasn't good or something like that. And it costs you some money, but it's not terrible. This is like they could take everything from you in an instant, and there's no way that we can go back. And it's not necessarily even your IT provider's fault. A lot of these people will infiltrate your system, and then they wait. As they're waiting for your backups to spill over, if they compromise you and are asking for a ransom, you say, well, let's just restore back to 60 days ago. Well, they've been in your system for 90 days. So if you restore to 60 days ago, they can still turn it on and ransomware you again. So are you paying for a backup that can go back 6 months or a year?
I appreciate your input there, Josh. According to FR Secure's 2023 report, 80% of all U.S. ransomware cases from 2022 caused damage to backups during the encryption process, which is roughly 2,000 compromised backups. With these threats becoming more and more prevalent, it is increasingly important to ensure you and your business are protected. Turning now to you folks at home, while the end of the year is normally a time for celebration, cybercriminals like to take this as an opportunity to strike when you're distracted. Josh, what is your number one cybersecurity tip for keeping yourself and your family safe online this holiday season?
My tip for anybody just personal security is you have to have everything that you access protected by some layer of multi-factor authentication. And that's not even a guarantee. We're seeing there are some pretty sophisticated hacks out there for intercepting people's multi-factor authentication. So that's like, well, gosh, what am I supposed to do? Well, the only way that they can really steal your token for multi-factor authentication is if you click on something that they send you that's designed to steal it. What they're doing is they're hacking somebody's emails and they're sending out an email to everybody else. So now you're getting an email from someone you know and you interface with, and you click on that link. And the education part is, okay, listen, it's okay to contact someone and ask them, did you send me this email? Is this okay? We've all seen somebody's Facebook get hacked and we get a weird message. It's no different with your business email. So step one, have multi-factor authentication on all of your accounts, because eventually everything's tied back to your work and your personal email. Once someone compromises that, they can get to all your other stuff. And all they have to do is look through your email to see what other stuff that is. So multi-factor authentication, and just think before you click.
Well, you heard it, folks. Set up that multi-factor authentication and think before you click. After all, 73% of business email compromises are due to the lack of an MFA. Don't let yourself be a statistic. Additionally, if you get a weird email you were not expecting, trust but verify its legitimacy with the person who sent the message. I encourage you all to go with your gut. If you question something for even a second, look a little deeper for clues showing it may be a phishing attempt. Reach out to the person who sent the email, but please don't respond directly to that email, or bring it to your IT team for additional guidance. Well, Josh, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. Everybody at home, stay vigilant out there and don't get phished.